Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Radash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother Dawadah from the Men of Valor campaign, Greenville, South Carolina, coming back with another video in sincerity and in truth, and Lord willing, to keep you edifying. And I got a very interesting video right here from ZeroHedge.com, very prophetic, very telling of the times that we're in, concerning, the economy and it slowing down, and, you Americans' way of life being greatly altered. All right. So title of this video, or title of, not the video, but title of this article from ZeroHedge.com, 120 million square feet store closings in the U.S. are on pace to set a new record high in 2025. If everything is going to be just fine, why are thousands of stores closing all over the country? All right, and that's your retail apocalypse, right? That Elder Malcolm, he would speak on that a lot. So far this year, the total amount of retail space that has been permanently closed has surpassed 120 million square feet. We have never seen anything like this before. Store closings spiked during the early days of the pandemic, but in 2025, stores are being permanently shuttered at even faster pace. In fact, during the first 6 weeks of this year, 5,822 store closures were recorded. All right, this is very much prophetic, but we're going to read through it. Store closures across the U.S. continue to rise and remain on track to far significantly surpass both new openings and the figures seen in 2024. According to a new report from research and advisory from CoreSite Research, cited by CoStar News, 5,822 store closures were recorded as of June 27, compared to 4,496 closures announced during the same period of 2024. If stores continue to close at this rate, we will break the old record that was established during the pandemic by a wide margin. All right, and this time around, it's the tariffs that's doing it. Tariffs, inflation, uncertainty in the economy. All right, so back in 2020, they had the pandemic to blame, but now you don't really have anything to necessarily blame. It's just, and it's still, in a worse position. All right, that's how we know America's on its way out. We're also being told that the total amount of retail space that has been permanently shuttered in 2025 has reached a staggering 120 million square feet. In June, store closures by Plano, Texas-based home goods seller At Home, and Philadelphia-based pharmacy chain Rite Aid, which had been filed in a Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, pushed the total amount of retail space to close in the U.S. this year to over 120 million square feet, CoreSite said. The real estate churn is happening as cyclical impacts confront structural shifts, according to one executive at the research firm. Wow. You may have noticed that there are an increasing number of abandoned buildings in your particular area. Sadly, this is just the beginning. Consumers are under more financial stress than we have ever seen, and that has resulted in a substantial decline in store traffic. Many of the retail store closures are a result of declining store traffic as more consumers respond to inflation by reducing spending. See, the tariffs and the inflation is going to cause people not to spend as much, which will cause an economic slowdown. It says there are also more consumers. That's why they want interest rates to be lowered, so they can, basically boost that spending to give the effect that America's economy is still doing fine because people are still spending money. It says the winner, or it says these are the let me slow down. There are also more consumers turning to online shopping, especially for apparel, accessories, and household items. The winner is not merely Amazon, but increased competition from Temu, Shein, marketplaces, and social commerce outlets like TikTok. Needless to say, more stores are being closed down with each passing day. After filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, Claire's announced that it will be closing 18 more stores. Claire's, a mall-based teen accessory retailer, has identified several locations across the country it plans to close after filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. Claire's U.S., which operates Claire's and icing stores, made the filing in the U.S. bankruptcy court in Delaware on Wednesday. It's the second time since 2018 the company has filed for bankruptcy. While the company says the majority of retail stores will remain open while it continues to explore all strategic alternatives, Claire said it identified 18 stores ahead of August 6th bankruptcy filing it would close, filing showed. At-home goods retailer in-home goods retailer At Home just announced that it will be closing 6 more stores. The home goods retailer At Home is closing an additional 6 stores across the country, bringing its total closure tally to more than 24 as it grapples with high debt and dwindling sales. The furniture and home decor retailer based in Coppell, Texas, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy on June 16th, pointing to broader economic and retail-specific market pressures in court documents. The bankruptcy filing and store closures follow several other big box retailers that also have been significantly downsized their brick and mortar footprints this year, including Big Lots, Joann Fabrics, Kohl's, JCPenney's, Macy's, and Party City. The retailer initially announced 26 store closures in June before paring that down to 24 when it decided to keep open 2 stores in New Jersey and Wisconsin. The company added another 6 stores to the list, according to a statement by retail firm Hilco Consumer Retail on August 1st, bringing the current number of stores it will shutter in the coming months to 30. It says we see more stores like this every single day. So what is going to happen if our economic momentum continues to take us very rapidly in the wrong direction? Earlier today, we learned that the percentage of student loans entering serious delinquency is absolutely exploding. I just did a video on that. So it's all tying together, man. And I know this is, it's not the most entertaining information, but it's affecting the lives of you Americans. All right, this is prophecy unfolding before our eyes, man, as everything else that we see. It says the total amount of outstanding student loan debt was $1.64 trillion in the second quarter of 2025 and rising by $7 billion in the quarter. Additionally, the share of student loan debt entering serious delinquency considered 90 days or more late jumped to 12.9% at the end of June and up 8% in March and above pre-pandemic trends that were around 9 to 10% from 2012 into 2020 when the moratorium initially took effect. The American people are drowning in debt, and I expect delinquency rates of all types to continue to rise in the months ahead. We are going to see more layoffs too. Hey, is this not, we're going to bring it out, man. All right, this is literally prophecy jumping off the pages. And the fact that continuing claims for unemployment benefits just hit their highest level since 2021 is not a good sign at all. Recurring applications for unemployment benefits surged to the highest since November 2021, adding to recent signs that the labor market is weakening. Continuing claims, a proxy for the number of people receiving benefits, rose by 38,000 to 1.97 million in the week ended July 26, according to the Labor Department data released Thursday. On top of everything, on top of the debt, the student loan debt, on top of the store closures, U.S. manufacturing activity is now in contraction territory. From March to July, U.S. manufacturing activity contracted. According to the Institute for Supply Management monthly survey, the manufacturing PMI last registered at 48, below the 50 score that differentiates growing and decline. The effect average tariff rate on all imported goods now stands at around 18% versus 2.3% last year, the highest levels since the 1930s. We are in so much trouble. All right, they're breaking it down. After evaluating all the latest economic numbers that have come in, Mark Zandi has come to the conclusion that the economy is on the precipice of recession. It's actually on the precipice of depression, man. But let's skip down. Oh, actually, let's read the rest of this. This is the end of the article. Mark Zandi, chief economist at Moody's Analytics, on Monday wrote a post on X that the economy is on the precipice of recession, citing the weaker than expected jobs report released Friday and the inflation data from the previous day that showed consumer prices rose as indicating the economy's precautious position. Consumer spending has flatlined. Construction and manufacturing are contracting, and employment is set to fall. And with inflation on the rise, it is tough for the Fed to come to the rescue, he wrote. It is hard to argue with him. Of course, what is eventually coming is going to be so much worse than just a recession. As conditions deteriorate, will store closings slow down or will they speed up? The answer to the question is obvious. If there are stores in your local area that you really enjoy, I would visit them now while you still can because they might not be there next year. Call Lawyer How by Shemal Shah. I know that was a lot of reading, you know, but this is heavy information, man. This is important. This is literally prophecy jumping off the page. Let's get right into it. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 1. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, what thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, and the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. So an example of the keeper of the house is like this editor right here. He made this article. He's watching and he's seeing that it's going to get worse. So they're starting to tremble. They're not saying that that the economy's looking good. They're saying we're at the precipice of economic downturn, of a recession, of a depression. We're at the end of America, Babylon the Great, man. All right, that's where we're standing. So it says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few. Wow, the workers, the grinders, you know. Hey, that they use that. Jake used that term. Now I'm on my grind, you know. The grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets. All right, did we not just see 120 million square feet in store closures? You know, that's a lot of square footage. That's a lot of stores closing. So it says, and the door shall be shut in the street when the sound of the grinding is low, meaning the economic slowdown. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. All right, so that's proof. All right, we're living in those times, man. The Lord said this will come to pass. The words of the Lord did not go out void. Let's get this. Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 14. The Lord Yahweh have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. And yeah, we're gonna keep bringing out these same scriptures because it's playing out. All right, it's like the Lord is narrating what's actually going on, man, and He's using us to do it. Verse 15, neither shall there be any work for Egypt. And this is talking about spiritual Egypt. All right. Revelation 11, it refers to America being a spiritual Sodom and spiritual Egypt. So this is speaking about spiritual Egypt, America, Babylon the Great. And speaking about there being no work for this place, which the head or 12 branch or rest may do. And that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and they shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he shaketh over it, man. All right, so we're in those times, you know. This is beautiful. All right, we Isaiah the 24th chapter, you know, a crying for wine in the streets. You know, the mirth of the land is gone. Because with that, you know, people aren't spending as much money, so people are clutching their wallets a little bit. They're getting more stressed about paying their bills and stuff. So if these companies are filing for bankruptcy, and you got all these Americans, you know, about to go delinquent on their student loan debt, also on your auto loan debt, also on your mortgage debt, also on your credit card debt, man. You Americans you're in a horrible case, man. Horrible case. And we'll finish off here. Second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 22. It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. You know, so hey, this is what we're witnessing. This is what we're seeing. This is beautiful. All right. And it doesn't take a whole lot, man. One major Black Swan event, man, and America's economy is bye-bye. All right. And we know that they're doing this because they want to usher in a new economy. All right, a new world economy. And they want to digitize all of your money. and ultimately give you that micro C-hip so they have full autonomy over your bodies, man. You know, they control your life. They control your damn thoughts damn near, man. And that's why we've been commanded not to take that MOTB. All right, but we're at the, man, hey. All right, you go outside and you see people still spending money and all doing this and doing that. They just don't know, man. Shit is getting bad. Right now, they're just masking it. All right, but when America defaults on its debt and you Americans default on your debt, all right, all hell gonna break loose, man. So I just want to bring this out. Lord willing, it was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakradash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Haru Will. Peace, love, and salutation to the hopeful elect. Till next time, shalom.